honestly came from, I was a big time movie guy. So we had no money. We lived in a $7 a month place growing up for a long period of time until my mom thought I got enough money to move out. My best friend's name was Johnny Nichols growing up. His parents had 2 VCRs. So they would go to the Blockbuster, whatever the fuck it was called back then, get a movie, and they would fucking illegally record the movie. So I would come over there, and I would go to Johnny's house, and every fucking Sunday and Saturday, they had like fucking 1,000 movies, man. And I would go over there and start watching movies. That's what I did. They would be home, I would walk in the house, start watching fucking movies. And one of the movies I watched was Rocky. And I got obsessed with Rocky, and I got obsessed with Platoon and Rambo and all those fucking kind of war movies and shit, Predator and shit. Yeah. And I saw all these fucking badass guys. And one scene that particularly, I probably broke his damn VCR trying to watch this one scene. One scene that changed my life was only 2 minutes and 13 seconds, I believe around there, was Rocky 1, round 14. I talk about it all the fucking time, but it literally fucked me up. Like, look at how you're watching something and you get this weird feeling over yourself, like, God, dog, that was fucking special. And you get chills, and you get kind of almost emotional, you get kind of choked up in your throat. So basically now, I'm sitting there, I'm real young, going through all my hardships, just left Buffalo, New York, my dad did the shit out of me, and I have nothing. And never had this feeling before of watching inspiration. I didn't know what inspiration was. I didn't know what any of that shit was. I just knew, like, just pain and suffering and shit. So when I saw this guy who was Rocky getting knocked down, getting up, so I was intrigued. So I sat back and watched it a little bit more. And Apollo was supposed to be the best person in boxing, and he knocks this fucker down in the corner. And what brought my attention was it was like a perfect storm for me, where the music was perfect. It was a perfect scene for me to almost gain strength. I see this guy in the corner who reminded me of me. Guy couldn't read, talked all fucked up. This kind of this dumb boxer. But he had something that I wanted. And Mickey was saying, his trainer was saying, stay down. Right. And he didn't hear anybody. He didn't give a fuck. All this guy wanted to do was go the distance. He didn't want to win. He just wanted to be able to go the distance. And when he stood up, off getting knocked down for the 30th time, and I'll never forget the look when Apollo Creed finally thinks he won. His back is turned to Rocky as Rocky's getting up, and as Mickey's saying, stay down. And once Apollo turns around, he looks at Rocky. He's now standing up in the corner. And the referee is standing beside Rocky. Rocky's like, hey, man, I'm fucking good. And when Apollo turns around, the look on this massive man who's the best boxer in the world, his face is just distraught. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you, man? And when he's kind of wobbling in the corner, he's all fucked up, and he's like, no, man, not today. I just want to go against the best. I want to know that I am somebody. And he gets his gloves and he motions him back over. And Apollo's face, he like puts his face down, he shakes his head, and I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want. So that scene was like, that's how I wanted to feel, because I was almost Rocky. I could feel how he was feeling. I know the pride he had to feel by, motherfucker, I stood up again. Right. And the pride he had to feel after going 15 rounds with the best person. He didn't win, but it wasn't about that. It was the fact that for the first time in his life, he knew he was something. He was somebody. He wasn't just some old bum from the street, as he said. And I wanted that feeling. So I knew to get it, I had to train. Something like Rocky did, but even harder, because this was a real situation for me. This was real life. So I started to create the real Rocky. I wanted to be the real version of the movie. And that's the hard part, though. That movie's inspirational. And in my life, there's a lot of times in my life it wasn't so inspirational. There's a lot of lonely moments where there was no going the distance song in the background to keep me going.
Yeah, that music changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof, man. There's a lot of times, there's a lot of quiet times, a lot of failure, a lot of disappointments, a lot of starting from scratch. But that's when I started to develop a different mentality. I started to develop a mentality of, this is where it's at. When you find out where you're at is when you're at the fucking lowest part of your life. So I started to develop a whole new mindset. Like, the lowest part of my life used to make me feel bad. The lowest part of my life now, it actually gives me strength. There are so many people stop. That's where they quit.
Right.
When they get to the fucking sewer of life, versus looking at it saying, oh yeah, motherfucker, now let's see what the fuck is up. Let's see what the fuck is up now. Let's see the millions of men out here in this world. They're not going where I'm willing to go now. This is where people stop. And this is where I started to develop the different mentality is, you want to test my resolve? You want to test my ability to go the distance? You want to see where your life ends and mine begins? That's where that mentality started for me. Because I started saying, man, you always end up in the dungeon. You gotta find strength in that motherfucker when no one else does. So that rocket movie was a little bit of a spark, but to become that person, it takes a lot. You know what's funny about me, man? I have zero anger. I'm a passionate guy, but I get it though.
Sure.
The way I talk, the way I come across, I'm an aggressive guy. Because that's what it takes to, like, if you walk into a situation, into a fight, I'm not saying be so aggressive that you're so aggressive that you're making bad moves. Sure. But if you have a little flame burn in you, knowing that I might get fucking hit real fucking hard, and when I get hit, I have to attack. I have to bring. I can't get knocked out.
Right.
You have to have that mentality of, when I went to Hell Week, I knew I was gonna get broken. I had to have an internal flame in me that can never be. It couldn't be kindling. Kindling, you put the water in front of kindling, that fucking shit's out.
Right.
Y'all, I had to be a motherfucking tree that is burning hard. It's burning for a long fucking time. And that's what I became, man. So it's not anger. Anger can't sustain you for a long period of time. Because once you get in a situation, trust me, I tried it before. When you get in a real hard situation and you're miserable, that anger is gone. What comes up is real. The real feeling of who you are and where you're at. You don't want to care about the people who made fun of you in high school or your dad beating the fuck out of you. Because now you become selfish. You're like, let's say you're in hell with you, that cold fucking water, it's 50 fucking degrees, and your balls in your fucking mouth right now, you're sitting there thinking, oh fuck dude, like, your mind is thinking, those fucking kids in high school bullied me, or my dad
talked. At least you're worried.
No, you're thinking, so what anger can fuel you for so long? There has to be something so deep in you that drives you. So what really does it for me is I know what we're capable of. And I know that most human beings aren't willing to go where I am. And that's a very, very dangerous thing. I'm not saying I'm daring anybody else. Everybody has this talent.
Sure.
It's not a talent. It's just realizing that we stop way short of our true potential. So through my life, I realize these things. And I know what gives me fuel is I know that most people who are blessed with so much talent, great parents, great upbringing, didn't come from where I come from. They're going to quit before me. Having all the tools that they have, they didn't have the ability to examine themselves. When you have everything so nice in life, it's great to have a great life.
Yeah, no doubt.
But what happens is you don't self-examine. You don't do a live autopsy. When you have a fucked up life, it almost forces you to do a live autopsy. It forces you to find strength from places that no one looks from. Because food is not at the ready. You know, I have a learning disability. It's not at the ready. I can't just pick up a book and start reading.
Right.
There's preparation behind everything I fucking do. There's everything I do has to come with so much fucking preparation. It's despicable. It makes me sick. My own personal life makes me sick. That's why I'm so disciplined now. Without my self-discipline, there is no David Goggins. Like, I can't stop reading. I won't be able to read tomorrow. I will lose it that fast.
Wow, yeah.
I cannot stop going to the gym. My mind is set up in a spot where, hey, the second I stop, it wants to stop. Because because I had a quitting mind growing up. When you get beat the shit out of you all the time, your mind wants to go to that nice spot where you're comforted, where you're not trying, where shit is easy. That's where your mind, it doesn't want to think. You have all these things in the mind, and the mind can only absorb so much shit. So all the pain it has to go through, it wants to push it away and say, let's not do that. So every day I'm fighting where the mind wants to go. So it's a constant evolution, man. I've never arrived. Right now, I'm stressing out 2-3 hours a day. I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm like, oh man, I went through Navy SEAL training being fucked up. I ran over 7,000 miles in 2007 being fucked up. I did pull-up records being fucked up. Now that the mind is so fucking strong, that the body catch the mind. So that's now where I'm at. So I'm always trying to reinvent the wheel and see what I'm capable of next.